You're tuned into LZ's Spotlight, a show where I, LZ, gives you the inside scoop on up-and-coming music artists. Today I have Chris in the studio. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Chris?
I go by Aliens at Work. I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm about 24 years old, and I love cheese and music and stuff.
Well, that's very interesting. So, how long have you been making music for?
I've been making music pretty much ever since I can remember. I used to actually write rhymes or raps when I was really young. I'd say probably in the third grade. My mom had this radio that would record things off the radio in slow motion. So I'd record these songs and then write my own raps to it. It'd be all slow motion. Then I'd be videotape myself rapping to it. And that's kind of what got me started in the music. And then about when I was in 5th grade, about 13 years old, I spent a lot of time on my dad's new computer, and then I discovered a program that you can make your own beats with. So then I started making my own beats to rap to or whatever. And I did that not very seriously until I was about a senior in high school, and that's when I discovered electronic music. And I found out a new program, Ableton Live, and got into music production a lot more seriously at that point. So basically I've been making music for a very long time, and it wasn't until I was a senior until I took it very seriously.
What influenced you to keep on pursuing this?
So I ever since I started in like I said, the 5th grade era, I never would show anyone my music. I always kept that to myself, and almost felt embarrassed if anyone would find out that I was doing this or something. But when I picked up electronic music, I actually showed my friends that I had, and they had realized that I had talent that I didn't even know about, and they kind of pushed me to pursue it.
Very cool. So you are a part of Unidentified Culture. What is that, and how did it get started?
Okay, it's now I throw shows with my buddy. It's called Unidentified Culture, but this started. It used to be called Unidentified Presents. It was a production company I started in 2016. I threw one show in Appleton, and it went decently well, but it never really took off from there. And then my buddy Brock, he got offered to start throwing shows here in our hometown, and reached out to me. Right away I took interest, okay, it's my hometown, and we thought we could do something with it, but we didn't really know what we could do. We were just let's see what happens. And that's when we kept the name Unidentified, because we thought that Brock goes by Unknown and I go by Aliens at Work, so Unidentified was kind of half alien, yeah, and then Unknown. So and then we added the word culture to it, because basically we wanted to bring the community together through arts and music, and I'm pretty sure that's what the definition of culture is. Mm-hmm. It's bringing people together through arts and music. So that's where the name of that started, and why we started throwing shows here. Yeah.
Where do you see Unidentified Culture going?
Well, like I said, when we first started it, excuse me, we never knew where it could go. We didn't really see a limit. We think it honestly can go as big as the culture is and how it grows. So as big as the community wants it is as big and awesome as this could actually be.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about where you want Unidentified Culture to go?
Right now, since we started throwing shows, they've consistently have been getting bigger and better, booking more talent. Really, we want to expose our local community into music that maybe they haven't heard before, but really awesome music. So
can you tell me about some of the upcoming shows that are?
Oh yeah. So like I said, they started when me and Brock got into it. We started doing kind of just local local support or local artists in the area. We started bringing them on, but as this has been growing, now we've been booking touring acts. So our next show we have Patches O'Malley and Hans Play coming from Detroit, which I'm really stoked about. After that, we have Beard Thug and Smokestacks coming through on their Smokey the Beard tour, and then we're bringing Deerskin back up for that one. And also we have Secret Recipe coming from Oakland, California, which me, myself, Control, and Unknown are all playing support for. And that's about as far as we got on our schedule for Unidentified Culture.
What about yourself as Aliens at Work?
Myself as Aliens at Work, I got a few exciting ones coming up. I just played a big show with EPROM, which is one of my biggest musical influences. Played with him out in Fargo. This upcoming weekend, I play this is kind of cool, like a hotel takeover. So the show is in a hotel, everyone gets a room, and I'm direct support for a really reputable DJ in the music scene, which I'm kind of nervous about. But then after that, I'm actually getting flown out to Colorado, and I play Colorado Springs as a headliner. And those are basically the rest of the shows I have lined up for 2017. In 2018, we were working on a spring tour with my buddy Deerskin, which I'll be playing select cities on tour across the East Coast, West Coast, down south, basically the whole nation. I'm really excited for that.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about what your vision is for your music, where you see yourself heading, and what you want to continue with?
My vision for this, I guess, I really like to travel and introduce people to new music they've never heard before, make people happy off my music, and that's what makes me happy. If I could ever somehow make a living or at least live comfortably just from my music, I think that would be a complete dream come true.
What kind of genre do you lean towards, or
I consider, okay, so I always tell people to be completely original, so I don't like to restrict myself to any genres. I just like to make music, but if I were to describe my music, I would consider it alien-based music, hence Aliens at Work.
Yeah, I know how Brock was telling me about how some of his music, or maybe your music too, is going to be released on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
From left field bass kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
that's a good term that I've actually just found out about. I never really heard that kind of style, or it be called that kind of style of music. But recently, it's a West Coast bass or left field bass is what they're starting to call the really
kind of more experimental.
Very experimental, left field, out of whack kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. And is there any advice for aspiring musicians to come?
I'd like to say follow your dreams. When I first started thinking about even getting into music, I guess I never really thought about it. It's always been something I wanted, and without me even knowing, it's everything's fallen into place, and before you know it, I'm 24 years old and I'm actually living out my dreams. So I'd say never give up. Keep that in your mind that this is what you want to do, and just go get it. I feel like ever since you were little, people told you could do anything you wanted to be when you grow up. You could do anything you want, and I really took that to heart, and now I feel like everything's happening for all the right reasons. So that's what I'd tell aspiring artists is to never give up, live your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all my supporters that have been seriously pushing me, even in the rough times when I maybe thought this wasn't for me. Got to say a big thanks to them, and big thanks to my mom for doing everything she's done for me and pushing me along the way as well. 'Cause I wouldn't be able to do it without any of that.
Well, thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate
thanks for having
it.
me.
Thanks for tuning in to LZ's Spotlight.
Swing through next week for some more insider details. Who will be next to step in the spotlight?